Hello, you guys, and welcome to the.
Oh, Women's Cake. Were you being like so gracious today?
I'm trying to be
because
professional.
England is.
Yeah, I was like, because whenever England's in the house, we'd be like, we will be proper. Now, if it's just London, if it's Northern England or Southern, for real South England, and we kind of.
Do it still proper because I feel like I can't put on a good English accent, so I at least should be proper, like stiff upper lip and everything.
Stiff upper lip?
I don't know. I'm pulling out stuff out the air. I'm trying to be, I'm Jade though.
Oh yeah, and we know that is true because we tried this. It was an accident, but something happened in the airport in London, and we found out that it is true. English people do tend to have a stiff upper lip, and I applaud you for it.
It was so hilarious.
If that had happened in America, everyone would have just stopped and laughed.
Yes. First and foremost, I cried with laughing. It was like Winona had a wardrobe malfunction. And as I'm standing there, because I've already passed through security on the other side, so you can't go back over. And I'm standing there watching it happen in slow motion. I'm like, no! Oh, can't do anything about it.
And the gentlemen turned their backs. It was so funny.
Yes, they would. Like, yes.
A moment of privacy.
And I was like, in America, we would have laughed. Nobody would have let us go. Cameras, everything. Anyway.
No one recorded, too.
We wrote books, though.
We wrote a book.
So we write books. We wrote the And I Thought series, And I Thought Divorce Was Bad, which is also available on Audible. And I Thought Being Good was Easy, which we are like listening to the final proof copy of it for Audible. Because, okay, so I need to say this. I thought I enjoyed, and I know this is a little narcissistic, I'm taking one note. I thought I enjoyed the book itself, and then it was read, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna encourage everyone to just buy it on Audible. Don't buy the book, get it on Audible, because it's so much better on Audible. Like, I was like, oh, this book came alive in a way that I never thought it would, and that's sad because we wrote it, and so I should know how. Okay, well,
anyway,
life.
And I thought I did my journey alone.
And I thought he was the one. And then we just have all these And I Thought books. I mean, seriously, y'all, it's a lot.
Then we have the Misfit Guides. And my favorite one, the Misfit Guides, not Cocky.
Wow!
Cocktail Stories in the LBG.
See, this is what
it's
happens.
A poetry life guide with cocktail recipes.
Okay, so
and
also
I write the Widow's Debt series.
And managers, and then we have the 25 hottest indie authors, artists, and advocate magazine that comes out once a year. Guys, check it out digitally because it's $4.50, save a tree. Or if you get like the real business copy, it's $35. So save a whole bunch of money. Just get it online. And have it instantly.
And we have the literary magazine of And I Thought. Please get your submission in because it comes out in October.
Yep. And everything you ever want to know about your ladies, you can find out at www.andwethought.com. Books on Amazon.com, Audible.com, and BarnesandNoble.com. But you guys on here, hey, we took up enough time. We had this whole malfunction. So, yeah, you can wait for later.
Okay.
You guys aren't here to hear about us. You're here to hear from our wonderful guests. Wonderful guests, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Rose Drew, and I'm talking to you from York in the middle of England. Yes. And thank you very much for having me here.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. It was so concise.
It was so concise. It's so English.
I like it.
I remember when we were in Sheffield, they were like, we're going to do short intros. And all the American people just did these 6 sentence intros and that's short. And they kept looking going, huh? And I'm like, you don't know what our short is, boo. It's like Texas size. Anyway. Thank you, Rose, for doing it correctly in short. I do have a question.
Yes.
Since you didn't add it.
Yes.
You have something to do with stairwells and books. What did you put? What is that now?
All right. I used to live in Norwalk, Connecticut, and we got the house. We were in over our head, so we bought it because there was a big first floor, and the lady who used to live there, her children sold it after she died, and she used to let people come through the middle of her house and go up the inside stairs, and I went, no. So I built some outside stairs, and I rented it out right off the bat. But there was the inside staircase, right? So there was a young lady who lived upstairs. My daughter was 4. I was a single mom. She goes, Rose, what do you do for yourself? I went, well, I'm a single mom. And she goes, no. I said, what do you do for yourself? I went, well, I used to do poetry. She went, okay. So she came back the next day with the newspaper and said, there's an open mic. Come here, Emily. Took my daughter, said, we'll be back. And she went upstairs. And I went there and I had not written any poetry for a long time. I had not done much with it. And so I read a couple little poems and they were like, that's very nice. So, but it started something and I started writing poetry again for like the first 15 years. I'd had a family tragedy. I had all this other stuff go on. And the dam just opened. And so I would write this stuff. I wrote like 80 poems and I would sit in the stairwell between our two houses and I would read her what I had done. And she'd be like, that's really good. Maybe that part, maybe this part. And I wrote about feminism and I wrote about Native Americans and I wrote about death and motherhood and disability. And I just kept writing and writing and writing. And so when I started to put little pamphlets out, my then boyfriend, now husband, goes, well, what should we call our little book company? I went, Stairwell Books. Now with a Southern accent over here, that Brits sometimes go, did you say sterile books? I went, no, Christ, no. It's not sterile. They think I'm saying sterile. So I'm like, Stairwell Books. Because, you know, they don't always hear the American accent. And then if you add a little bit of a Southern accent in there, they're like, where are you from? And they can never tell. And so, but that's where it is. It was Stairwell. And the young lady living upstairs used to play the cello and the sound would go all over the house. And it was wonderful. And it was really cool. I mean, it was dollar to dollar, and if the rent didn't come in, I didn't pay the mortgage. It was all really tight, but it was a cool house, and I've just sold it. And I hesitated for a long time because I've had so many good people living in the house, and that was it. It was that stairwell, so that's where it comes from.
I love that very much because
so,
it reminds me of us and how we used to sit in the stairwell.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's
we used to sit in the stairwell.
I'm sorry, you just helped me remember something completely.
Well, you can sit on the stoop, or you sit outside, or you're not in the house. You can get distracted. You're on a space between. I guess what they would call the liminal. You know, the edges. And so, yeah.
We used to sit in the stairwell between the main floor and the basement, and hide out and write stuff.
I can just see it. I can just see it because that's an in-between space. Okay, that's a traveling space. That's an in-between space. You're not here. You're not there. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I love it because it's like memory and cozy and wonderfulness, and it's just so poetic. But then again, what can you expect from someone who writes poetry?
Okay, so let's talk about the books that because you know we're about to go down that path of
like join us on memory lane. It's a whole different show.
yeah.
Before we go down that cozy path of dark stairwells and hot chocolate and craziness, let's talk about the books that you have published and what was your mission behind publishing them when you pick a book.
Right. Okay. When I pick a book, it's either someone that I've heard. Well, we run a poetry and prose open mic in England now for 14 years, and we had one in Connecticut before we moved, and we would hear poets every month, once a month. And then we moved here and I couldn't stand it. We started a new open mic almost right away. And so sometimes I'll hear someone read part of a novel and I'll go, ooh, I like that book. Or they'll approach us. And now that we're established and we've done about, I don't know, maybe 90 books by now, the universities send us interns and people send us stuff and we get unsolicited manuscripts. So we're inundated. That's fine. A book has to grab me. It has to grab me like, I can't put it down. I'm making excuses to go back and read the manuscript. I wake up in the morning going, what was that film? Oh, Jesus, that manuscript I'm reading. I think it's so real. I thought I'd seen it on television. I think it's people I know, and it becomes real to me. So then that's part one. Number one, the product has to be something that I can put my heart into and I can sell and I can promote. Two, the author has to be willing to promote the book. They can't be like, well, I'm not going to really do much of it. No, I need to have them be kind of like turn into my bitch, just a tiny bit. Because we have to be able to go to bookshops and sell it and promote it. They got to have it in their handbook and, you know, have it out all the time. They have to, the people who lose us money are the ones who do one book launch, just one. And they think the pink limousine's going to drop, you know, show up and the balloons are going to drop from the sky and the fame's going to show up and someone, you know, Tarantino going to say, can I make your book into a film, but everyone dies, you know, and they think all these things are going to happen, right? And that's not it. It's hard work. They don't know who you are. Unless you're John Grisham, a man. Unless you're Michael Connelly, a man. Unless you're, you know,
Janet Ivanovich,
a man. Yeah, there are some women that do get out there, but it's harder. It's harder. And I'll talk about women's fiction in a minute. So you got to really be able to promote it. It's a piece of artwork. You would not just give your painting away. It's your artwork. You've done it. It's our artwork. We've done it. So they have to be willing to promote the book. and it has to be just brilliant beyond all possible belief. And I see a lot of really good books, but then something else falls apart, or the story, or blah, blah. And they have to be willing to let me work with the book and edit it and help shape it that little bit. But I keep their voice there. I keep their voice there.
I'm sorry, I'm only laughing because of Winona.
You know the question's about to happen, and she's just laughing.
I'm laughing because Winona, she hates editors. And it's really funny because a family friend was an editor for her, like I remember going to her house being like, and she's like, Winona, that paragraph made no sense, so it's gone. And right. Winona going, what? The wording was so, and she goes,
kill your babies. That's it.
That's it. That's wonderful. It's gone. It's gone. Forget you wrote it, and we're moving on.
The rule is
skip. To do that.
Take the parts out that the reader's going to skip. And tighten it up that little bit. It's that's people, the big descriptions of the mountainside house. People go skim. Take it out. Take it out.
Right. And it's really hilarious because I used to do that to Winona's work after the editor did it. And I would look at it and I would say, you meant to be funny here. And it's not funny.
Oh, you're
like, I get it because I know you and you're my best friend in the world. So it's hilarious to me. But nobody else is going to get it.
It has to be understandable by a stranger, someone who will never meet you. Because if you do it right and you sell millions of books, you don't want to meet all these people. That's a lot of people. You can't possibly meet all the people in the world. So it has to be someone that would get the book without ever knowing you, without knowing your backstory, without knowing that's really about your cat, or it has to be something that's understandable to everyone. So but that's the rules, basically. It has to make me I can't stop thinking about it, and they have to be willing to work with me to promote the book. So,
well, you have a thing that most publishers don't. Well, they have it now, but they didn't.
I think
have
the indie author did it for them.
Probably
publishers. I think indie authors in general
introduced them to this. But you have a podcast and a radio show, if I'm correct.
Well, you
can promote. Yes. You can definitely do the promoting.
Yes.
Tell us how this got started. Was it a promotion tool or just your luck?
Well, it was luck, and it was a small radio station getting started here in York called Two River Radio Station, because there's two rivers in York, and they are community. They're not owned by the BBC. That is now actually not even in York, but is actually in Leeds, which is far away and is not York. And also, I was asked to do a TEDx talk. And the guy said, you know who to do a TEDx talk? I went, me. And I said, and okay. And I got a list of other poets, but there's me. And so in the end, they wanted me to do it. And that was great. But the organizer then said, can you bring three or four other poets to do like another 20-minute set that's just for the live audience? Okay. So then that was my husband, little nepotism. And then there's two younger people that we know. Charlie, who has this amazing Irish accent. You could just hear her talk all day. And then there was a young kind of punky guy named Lawrence, bit edgy and younger. And then Alan is older and very British. And I heard you talking about not doing accents, and I don't really do them because, you can hear a fake American Southern accent from a million miles away, and it's awful, really bad. And so I can't consistently hold the British accent. I can do it, but I can't do it. So we all had different voices, which is what you need on a podcast. So the people saw my TED talk, they saw my friends, and then we were approached by this company. They said, we want to do a podcast with you guys because people will know that's the American, that's the old guy, that's the young guy, that's the Irish girl. And we said, okay. And then we would get there, and it's called The Poetry Show, which is what we came up with, as it says on the 10. And we talk about a topic, love, death, sex, whatever, right? And we have one or two poems maybe, but it's mostly chat, which means we just get all political and we try to keep it timeless so that people can see it years and years from now or whatever. But we talk about the themes, and then we might punctuate it with a poem. So that was me just really... we were just promoting our ideas ourselves. But at the radio station, yes, I would have Stairwell Books authors come on. And then we do launches. I did a launch last night in Leeds. We had not that many people, but we've had other launches where we have hundreds of people come and we sell 100 books. And we've just had, amazing launches. And sometimes it doesn't matter. It's accumulative, So yes, we have the podcast. We do the press release. We do the little radio spots. I'm willing to go anywhere and help them sell their book. I'll go to London. I'll go to Wales. And, I'm in it with them, so.
And you gotta love someone who's a partner. Like,
yes.
we have publishers on, or we have lit agents on, and they're like, we love it, and then it's like, so what happens after you sign?
Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah, no, people, I know they just get a box of books in the mail and they're like, have fun with that, babe. You know, and that's it. Whereas when we do a book, we split the proceeds 50-50 with our authors. It's not 10% commission. It's not 8% royalties. It's 50-50. And maybe that's a lot of money going out the door, but it really means that we are truly partners. I've taken the risk of shelling out the money to print this book or get the art done. And we've sat there for hours and hours and edited it, and we've put our time in, but they've done the work of writing it. And so it's definitely a partnership. And yeah, one of our guys has made £1,000 just in poetry. His book of poetry, he's made like £1,000. That's a lot of money for just a little book of poetry, but he's amazing. He's amazing. So yeah,
absolutely.
There's a different appreciation for literature, for true literature in England that we find, because we actually
we're poets.
We're poets. And
poet of the year. See,
that's poet of the year. She's poet of the year.
Whoa! Excellent. So
we do a tour in Northern England actually for 4 years, right?
Yeah,
they like us there.
Okay,
it's hard.
Do you see them saying we're overtime by like a gazillion?
Yes, I see them saying we're overtime. So we do have to ask the question. Oh no, you have an event coming up. Tell us about the event real quick.
I have a bunch of events coming up, but the big one is coming up in March of next year. Will be the 3rd annual Poetry for All. And that was when I had several people come up to me. We were contacted by 2 different blind women. How can I come to the literature festival? Would someone help me get in? And the guy running it said, oh, no, we can't. And I wrote back, yes, we can. It's words. You can hear them, you know, and they didn't come. And then this woman got a hold of me and said, my brother is deaf, but he'd like to do some poetry. And I went back and I got a hold of Faye Roberts, who knows everyone in the world, Peace Faye, and everyone. And she says, well, there's a poetry slam tonight in London for deaf poets. I went, wow.
Yes.
So yeah, right. So I got back to that young lady and she did that. And she told her brother, I think. And I thought, okay, I'm sick of this. I want to make a poetry event for all. So it is now going to be the 3rd annual. It's British Sign Language interpreted. I get a terp. I have their poems up on PowerPoint. It is for all. And we make sure anyone can come in, young, old, mobility, restriction. And it's just, I'm so excited. So we're going to be the 3rd annual one this March. And we're planning already. And I'm trying to get the amazing poet to come back. I hope he will. Ray Antrobus, please. And he was amazing. And so if he could come back and do it again. And so that's it. That's cool. Those are my things. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. And then just between now and then, it'll just be book launches and things like that.
So where can people check you out, find you online?
Yes, I hope so. My name is Rose Drew, and I do have a TEDx talk, and I called it, I Am Not a Silent Poet, because I stole that off of Reuben Woolley, who's on Facebook, with his permission. I said, Reuben, I'm stealing this. Like, all right. And they renamed it The Power of the Spoken Word. And I thought, okay. Thanks, man. But there was like 250 people there, and they were all lawyers, right? And they said, right, our next performer is going to be a poet. And I went, And then I come out and I do my thing. They're like, oh, and that was really good. And then I brought out the other guys and they were just great. So, you trick them with poetry sometimes. So,
I do it all the time.
Oh man, exactly. Sneak up behind them and surprise them and have them go, I don't like poetry, but I liked that, and
that's what you want to hear.
That's great praise, isn't it? I like that. So yeah, that's the biggest.
It's better praise when they buy the book.
Yeah, and buy my books. Yes. Stairwell Books. Find them. My authors are amazing. They are each and every. They're wonderful. They're great. They're wonderful. I try to hear all voices. Oh yes. Next year is Stairwell Books 2020 Vision. I am so tired of people sending me a manuscript. I love it. It's great. I'm like, can the lead character be a woman? And they're like, no. But his best friend. No. So next year, all the books by Stairwell Books are written by women, or written by women or people identifying as a woman. All the books coming out next year will be by women.
No, it can't be you, Winona. It can't be you. No. Stop being ridiculous.
All right, I'm sorry. We should wrap it. I will. Don't joke.
I'm not serious. And and I'm serious. And if you guys come to Northern England, I'd love it. We have open mic.
We'll be there in July. We already have the dates.
You're there in July of next year?
Yes, we're there every year. They ask us to come back every year.
So who's they? I'll come and meet you. That'll be so much fun.
Oh, no. We have to talk offline because I have stuff. to ask.
That's
you.
how, exactly.
So, you
We'll
guys,
chat. We'll chat.
Thank you so much, Stairwell Books, for coming on. And wow, I forgot. Everything just went out of my head.
Okay, here we go. So you guys, thank you so much for coming on. We thoroughly enjoyed Stairwell Books. Please check out her books. And more importantly, buy them. That helps support everyone.
Everyone gets supported.
And I'm Rose. And thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed my time so much. Thank you.
And also, you can check out everything that we're doing. Please remember that we have the Las Vegas Writers Retreat coming up. Picture producer, a director, and an actor.
In October, please feel free to come on out and check that out and find out everything your ladies are doing at www.andwethoughts.com. Also, you can check out Just Right Life on Facebook. And remember that wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona, who's going to get her nails done for the awards next week.
And Jade, bye-bye.